Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us for this lunchtime webinar. So before we get started, on behalf of Wallaby City Council, I wish to acknowledge the traditional inhabitants of the land on which we stand, the Aboriginal people, the spirits and ancestors, and we acknowledge the vital contribution that Indigenous people and cultures have made and still make to the nation that we share, Australia. So welcome and thank you for joining us. My name is Barbara. I'm a Sustainability Education Officer here for Willoughby Council. And today's webinar is part of our Live Well in Willoughby program. So this is our series of events, talks, workshops, with which we provide fun ways to rethink your lifestyle to create a more sustainable future. So to today's webinar, we're very excited to have Hannah with us from Never Ever Pay Retail, and I will just do a very quick intro before handing over to her. We're running it as part of the fashion revolution. So the fashion revolution movement is to commemorate the thousands of workers that were killed or injured when the Rana Plaza factory complex collapsed in Dhaka, Bangladesh. That was a number of years ago, and that injured and killed thousands of workers, which were mainly young women working for big fashion brands in the fashion industry, and it's all brands that we know and use. So Fashion Revolution is basically an opportunity. It's a global movement, and it celebrates fashion as a positive influence. It tries to raise awareness of the fashion industry's most pressing issues and show that change is possible. So we've got this session today. It will last just under an hour. It's being recorded, so we'll send a recording afterwards to everyone as well. Everyone is on mute just so that we have a good audio quality, and we'll just be asking you to put your questions in the chat. So feel free to type in the chat at any time. And once Hannah's finished her presentation, which should last about 45 minutes, then we'll go and do a bit of a Q&A and make sure to ask all of your questions. I'll send an evaluation email just after this session finishes. Would love to have your feedback in our survey just so that we know how to improve. And I'll be sending the resources as well, so you don't need to be taking lots of crazy notes. You can just sit back, have your lunch and enjoy. So I'll hand over to Hannah now, and thanks again for being there, Hannah.
Thank you, Barbara. It's such a lovely introduction. So welcome to Willoughby Council's webinar for Fashion Revolution Week. Today, you're going to get a crash course in thrifting. But before I begin, I thought I'd better introduce myself in case you've never come across me on the interwebs. My name is Hannah, and I'm an opshopaholic. If you're on socials, you can find me at Never Ever Pay Retail on Instagram and Facebook. But I've been thrifting since birth, thanks to my parents' opshopping obsession. If they're watching, hi mum and dad. It was kind of embarrassing, though, I will admit, when I was a kid, because mum and dad would even take us opshopping at the rubbish tip. And I will tell you now that it really smelled bad. And I used to zip my jacket up right up over my nose because it smelled atrocious. And I was so embarrassed. But anyway, if I ever wanted anything brand new, my parents would make me save up for it. And I remember when I was a kid, I really wanted a 90210 hoodie with matching tartan tights. It's very on trend at the time, trust me. And so, yeah, I had to save up for it. And after that one experience, I realized actually thrifting is not such a bad idea, and it's very accessible. And so, yeah, I guess you could say I've always loved the thrill of the chase of thrifting. It gets my heart rate up. It's probably the best cardio I've ever had. And now I live by the mantra, buy nothing new, except for underwear, because obviously you've got to draw the line somewhere. And so 99% of my wardrobe is pre-loved. And 8 years ago, I really had this moment where I decided, you know what, I'm going to quit my full-time job and create this website because I wanted to inspire people to thrift and show them the amazing things you can find at the op shops. I know a lot of people are peddling fast fashion, especially like people like Shine. And so I just wanted to inspire people to slow it down and shop secondhand. So today I've got 5. There's so many reasons why we should all be thrifters. But today I've got 5 reasons for you in case you're not super sold on thrifting just yet. I will change your mind by the end of this, hopefully. The first reason is to do it for the planet. So in case you missed the ABC's War on Waste program, it was a few years ago now, they found that 6,000 kilograms of textile waste goes to landfill every 10 minutes here in Australia, which is an astronomical amount of clothing to me. And if everyone lived the way we lived in Australia, we would need 3 more planets because our consumption rates are actually through the roof. The fashion industry is now the second biggest polluter in the world after the oil industry. So it's actually worse than aviation, which blows my mind. 11 million tons of waste go to landfill every year. And a lot of that stuff won't break down for maybe up to 200 years, because it's polyester and that fabric never dies. The good news is, though, that opshopping helps to divert textile waste from landfill, and every year 300,000 tons is sent back into people's wardrobes as opposed to going to the tip. So if you've never thought about thrifting before, maybe you could give fast fashion the flick and try a bit of thrifting instead. The next reason you should be a thrifter is you should do it for charity. I always call opshopping retail therapy with no regrets, because at the end of the day, you are making a donation to charity. And so you can feel good about your purchase, even if it's an impulse buy. And actually at the moment, thrift shops, especially now, need the support more than ever, because obviously we've been through a few crazy years with COVID, and there's a lot more need out there in the community. So every time you purchase, you're actually helping someone in your community and beyond, so you can feel really good about treating yourself. The other thing you should thrift for is for the workers. So a lot of people are really surprised that modern day slavery is alive and well, and there are more slaves today than in any point in history. It's actually really hard to picture the kinds of conditions that our clothing is made in when they're presented as really pretty items in the store. But unfortunately, the fashion industry does have an ugly side, and that terrible reality became very clear when the Rana Plaza collapsed in 2013. So that was almost 9 years ago today, where 1,138 garment workers were killed and 2,500 were injured. But the worst thing about that tragedy is it was completely preventable. But sorry, I'm just getting choked up. Excuse me. Had they not cut corners with building safety, 9 years after the tragedy, though, which attracted worldwide attention, the fashion industry still employs more than 40 million people who work up to 18 hours a day, 7 days a week, in hazardous, unsafe environments, and only earn around $2 a day. As consumers, we can use our purchase power for good by not buying into brands that don't look after their workers, and by buying secondhand. You can also check out the Fashion Revolution website to find out how you can make a stand for the modern day slaves who make our clothes, and put the pressure back on the brands to be more accountable and transparent. The next reason you should be a thrifter is to do it for your wallet. Who doesn't love, sorry, bear with me. Who doesn't love a cheeky retail therapy session for a fraction of the cost? And the best part about thrifting is that you won't lose sleep over your credit card statements. This entire ensemble was less than $30, and my husband loves it because he calls me cheap to keep. The next reason you should be a thrifter is to do it for your wardrobe. It's a really great way to create your own aesthetic. Sorry, I'm just going to put you on mute while I have a cough. Just sorry.
That's all right. Take your time, Hannah. Have a nice drink of tea.
I'm so sorry about that. Hopefully we can get through this without me coughing again. I've just come off the back of a cough. So I could talk about thrifting all day, but I thought it might be fun to do a bit of a show and tell of some of my favorite thrifting finds. So I'll be bringing out 2 models, Anthea and Michael, to show you how you can level up your thrifting game. But before we begin, My biggest tip for thrifting is to have a vision before you even step foot inside a thrift shop. I always scroll Instagram and save photos, sorry, that inspire me. And I mean, you could also hop on Pinterest. It's whatever you get your inspiration from. You could flick a fashion magazine, and then you can create the look for less. Because the thing is, fashion is cyclical. So things that are hot right now were probably on trend back in the day in the 80s and 90s. You know, think puff sleeves, animal print, two-piece cords. And it also helps to do a wardrobe audit before you go and see what pieces are missing. So make sure you add those pieces to your list. But I'll tell you what, thrifting is a long game. So it really does help to have an opshop wish list. I'll tell you why. This dress was on my opshop wish list for a really long time. I hunted high and low for it. I really wanted a lilac dress. I even looked on Facebook Marketplace, but I ended up finding this at a pre-loved market for $5. And it ticks so many boxes. It's tiered. It's got the tie-up shoulders. It's really billowy and flowy. It's beautiful. And I have to say, there's something about delayed gratification because, you know, there's that thing of just being patient and waiting. And when you finally do find the pieces on your opshop wish list, it feels so good rather than just going out and just getting it immediately. There's just something about that waiting factor. But if you don't have anything you want to put on your wish list just now, I've got some secondhand staples. So I'll get Anthea to come out. And these are classic pieces that everybody needs in their wardrobe. So give everyone a little spin. It's beautiful. So the first thing you need is a white shirt. I've thrifted so many of these in my life. There's a whole section in my wardrobe dedicated to them. There's like probably about 10 shirts in there at least. I often thrift for them on the men's rack. So just look for a slim fit. And then you can slim it, like cinch it in by tucking it in at the waist. Or you can do a half tuck because that's what the cool kids are doing right now. The other thing you really need is a vintage handbag. So I don't know if you've noticed, but a lot of the handbags these days peel, like they're made of those synthetic fibers and they just don't last. But a vintage handbag will see through will stand the test of time. Sorry. This one is an Oroton one. It was $2. It's leather. It goes with everything. I love it. It's very, very, very handy. So make sure you hit the handbag section and when you visit the thrift store. Sorry, the other thing you need is a blazer. So blazers are a timeless piece that give your outfit a bit of an edge and they're everywhere at the op shop. So definitely stock up on those. I like to either sling, sorry. Sorry, I don't know what's going on with my voice. I either like to sling them around my shoulders or I also like to scrunch up the sleeves. And what I do to hold them in place is actually put an elastic band. If we come forward, just put an elastic band there and then fold the sleeve up and then push it up and then it holds it in place so the sleeves don't slide down. It's a great little trick. So try that one at home. And the other thing you really need is a scarf. It just adds a little bit of pizzazz to your outfit. And these usually cost $2 or less. And there's always so many of them at the op shops. And you can also wear this in your hair if you've got a ponytail, or you can do like a double knot headband with them. There's so many little tricks. So get on YouTube and check that out. And the last thing you need is a good pair of jeans. So these ones for $2.50. And you'd be crazy not to like snap up a pair. The key to having a sisterhood of the traveling pants moment though is to try them on. Sizes are really misleading. So even if it doesn't look like it's your size, give it a whirl because you will be surprised. And when you think it almost takes 10 years worth of drinking water for one person to make a pair of jeans, buying them secondhand is definitely the more sustainable option. But yeah, and the beauty I actually have to say about buying secondhand denim is that it's already broken in and you know, like it's going to fit. You know how sometimes jeans can stretch after a wash or whatever and it gets really annoying. So make sure you try on those jeans when you get to the op shop. I've just lost my notes. Here we go. Thank you, Anthea.
Thank you so much, Anthea. I might read a few of the comments and then give your voice a break as well.
Sorry, thank you.
That's all right. We've got some good comments coming in. We've got Christiana that says she 100% agrees with the op shop wish list. So she started this as well. and it's a good reminder when she finally gets to the shop. So I love that. This is something already being used by some people. We've got, I'm sorry if I don't know how to pronounce your name, Swanchi. She says she shops the other way around as yours, so she goes without an idea and without any need, but she's inspired what she sees. And she also says she's an shopaholic as well. So the issue is, and I completely agree with that, is that more and more fast fashion are found in op shops. So it's harder to find good quality stuff, but she also does mend her own clothes. So I love that. Emma was asking what brand your lilac dress was.
Here we go. I'll take myself off mute. It's White Closet.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
It's beautiful. Nice little fabric too. It's really comfortable. But no, it is true. I've seen so much more shine in the op shops, and it's the one brand I just feel really bad to even buy, like even secondhand. I feel like it's like, oh, and one time I accidentally bought a dress by Shine and I was so upset with myself. But at the end of the day, the damage is done. It's already been bought. And if it means that it doesn't go to landfill, I guess that's a positive. So, but yeah, no, I hear it's harder to find the good quality pieces these days because there's so much rubbish being pumped out by major fast fashion players. So I've got another model for you today. If you're thrifting for the men in your life, here's some things you could add to your wish list. This is Michael, aka Scrap Boy from Dirt Girl World. You can see him on ABC Kids. But all shameless plugs aside, also find him on Instagram at Michael Balk, B-A-L-K. How great does he look though in this little beachy outfit? You can't beat a striped tee, which is such a good staple. I mean, you wear this with everything, right? And it was only $4. They usually retail for $36. And the Mr. Simple linen shorts were $7, but they normally retail for $100. They're perfect for a summer vacay, and it's just the pattern clash really works. And this whole look cost $11, but it would actually cost $136 in real life. So, I mean, why wouldn't you thrift, really? Even for the men in your life. You can shop for everybody. The sky's the limit. But anyway, thank you, Michael. I often get asked when to go op shopping. And I always find the best time to go is midweek or like on a Tuesday or Wednesday, because I feel like a lot of the time people go on a weekend, so it gets pilfered. And if you go by Tuesday or Wednesday, it's given the volunteers enough time to replenish all the shelves. And then before you go, you do need to map it out. It's a bit of a logistical thing, but it's really important because a lot of the op shops are tucked away on side streets and you could be missing them completely. So I always like to have a bit of a route. I also like to check trading hours because a lot of the op shops have weird trading hours. So check their website, check their Facebook page. Because I did get caught out the other day quite badly. So I heard about this new op shop. It was about half an hour from where I lived. And everyone said it was so good. So I drove all the way there. And when I got there, it was closed because it turns out they are only open during school term. Minor detail, but it got me good. And I could have cried. So I think if you can call ahead even, like really do your research, it will pay off. And a lot of people, so when you arrive, a lot of people ask me where I start in the actual op shop. I usually navigate towards the dress rack because they're such a simple outfit. It's a one garment outfit. But the other thing I like to do is check the change room rack because people will try stuff on and it may not fit them. So they'll put the op shop gold there. So you can let someone else do the heavy lifting for you. But at the end of the day, you do have to shop every rack. And I've got Anthea here to show you why. Anthea, come on out. I love this look. This entire look came from the kids section. Oh my gosh, I just poked you. This denim jacket is an Oshkosh Bagosh brand, which is hilarious. And I've even left the label on there because I actually think it's so funny. But it's a great crop fit. I really like it. You can push the sleeves up as well on this one. And this dress is from the kids section, but it's a size 16. And it really reminds me of the Mr. Zimmy collection that's out at the moment, like lots of baby doll, lots of gingham. Very cute. And you wouldn't look at her on the street and go, oh my gosh, how embarrassing. She's wearing kids' clothes. So yeah, do you want to give everyone a spin while I have a sip of tea? Very cute. But yeah, you do have to shop every rack. I found amazing vintage skirts, like pleat skirts on the plus size rack because sizes have changed a lot over the years. So something that's a size 16 vintage is more like a size 10 now because of how our bodies have changed. So make sure you shop every rack. And also the men's section, I find great staple basic tees, statement tees. I also thrifted this men's shirt a really long time ago, and I've worn it so many times. It's just Country Road. I think it cost me $5. It's just a good classic piece. Doesn't matter that's from the men's section, you can make it work for you. So make sure you have a look at absolutely everything and leave no stone unturned. Yeah, so give it up for Anthea. I know she can't hear you, but give it up for her anyway. All right, next up we have Michael in some jeans I'm super excited about. Come on down, show them what you got. I actually found these Outland denim jeans on the $2 rack, which I sometimes overlook because I'm like, oh, $2, like, you know, a bit snobby. But you never know what could be on there. So you really do need to shop every rack. But I almost had a heart attack when I found these because I don't know if you remember when Meghan Markle came to Australia. She wore a pair of Outland denim jeans and everyone freaked out about the brand. But if you haven't heard about the brand, they are a Queensland label and they are just so amazing. They work with victims of sex trafficking in Cambodia, basically empower them with training, employment, and a fair wage. And these jeans normally cost $230, but I found them for $2. So I think that's not too bad. Also, this shirt, linen fibers, fabrics, sorry, everywhere right now. This is a Scotch and Soda shirt, which I found for $8. Normally retails for $130. So I don't need to be a mathlete when I crunch the numbers on this one. Came to a total of $10, and it would normally retail for $360. And it's just such a great weekend vibe. Do you feel it? Feeling it. Thanks, Michael. Love your work. Work it, baby. When you're thrifting, you really do have to use your imagination though. You have to see the clothes as a bit of a diamond in the rough. Some of them do need a little bit of TLC. Like someone said before, they may need some repairs. They may have a few little stains. I did find a dress the other day and the little belt loop thing had kind of snapped off a bit. All it took was a tiny bit of hand stitching and it was back in business. And I just think people often just put it in a too hard basket and donate it. But yeah, if you go in with your eyes open, you can really restore garments and give them a new lease on life. My other thing that I really love, I have to have these secret weapons up my sleeve all the time, is press studs. Press studs are really great if you've got like a wrap dress or a wrap top and it's kind of a bit gapey. You don't want to reveal everything to everybody. It's a great way to keep everything in place. And the other thing I love to have up my sleeve is a stash of elastic for sneaky alterations as well. And I hope Anthea is ready for this next little show and tell. Come on out. So this skirt, excuse me. This skirt was an extra small. It was absolutely way too small for me. It was like excruciating. And so all I did was I hacked into the hem up the top, the little seam, stitched in a little bit of extra elastic, and now it's super comfy. I can have a big lunch. There's no pain. And it's just, you wouldn't know that there's an extra piece of elastic. Just give a spin for everyone. No one's going to analyze your garment and go, wait, I swear there's some extra elastic in there. So yeah, thank you so much, Anthea. That looks beautiful on you. I swear she looks better in my clothes than I do, and it's so unfair. But it really does help to learn the basics in sewing, like how to hand sew or stitch on a button, or just hem up a garment to make it the right length for you. But for those more intense repairs, maybe get a seamstress on speed dial or make friends with someone who knows how to sew and pay them with snacks. You know, because there's some things you do need professional help for, like putting darts in garments and stuff like that. But yeah, the other thing I mentioned before is that sometimes your garments could be stained. And it is a bit of a gamble buying them because you never know if you're going to be able to get it out. But I will tell you about a life-changing discovery, and this is not sponsored. But I did find this Audit Dyson spray, stain remover spray. It's in a purple bottle. It's about $1.79. Generally works every time on every stain I've found in the op shop. So give that one a whirl. And the other thing I would say is if you have a new piece to you, make sure you wash it separately, because even though it's pre-loved and it may have been washed before, it does pay to wash it separately in case the dye still is running. I've been burned before because I wash all my pre-loved clothes in bucket, like I hand washed them, and I had the dye run on all of my favorite clothes. And yeah, don't let that happen to you. And if you can hand wash, it's really great for your clothes, just because obviously they've had a life before you, and they probably just need to be looked after a lot better if you want to get the most out of them. I also put my delicates, like if there's tassels or sequins or whatever, if it's a delicate fabric, always put it in one of those little wash bags. Put the spin cycle on gentle, and then if you can hang your clothes on the line or on hangers to maintain their shape in the shade, that is generally the best way to get more wear out of what you wear, but just taking care of all the clothes. The other big tip I have for you guys is to try everything on. Like I said before, sizes are really misleading, so make sure you wear something that is easy to get changed in and out of. I often will go into an op shop wearing like a slip dress, slip-on shoes, or the other thing I like to wear is like a pleat skirt. So if the change rooms are full and you're time full like I am, you can actually just pull things on underneath your skirt and just keep on rolling. And yeah, if you're thrifting for the men in your life, you need to do your research on sizing before you hit the op shop. So the other thing I like to do and put into the note section of my phone is all my husband's sizes, like shoe sizes and shirt sizes and everything like that. So you know exactly what's going to fit them. Or you could even take a tape measure and measure their clothes and then have that tape measure with you at the op shops if you really want to be super thorough. But yeah, here comes Michael in a look that's perfect for a picnic. We've layered this $5 floral shirt from Vinnie's over a basic $4 tee and paired them with these Academy brand shorts that were $6. And I actually, I know these shorts are 2 sizes too small for Michael. No offense, like he's actually a great shape. He's in great shape, but it's more that they were just tiny. And so I took a gamble on them anyways because I knew they had an elastic waistline. You want to show them the waistline. And so the thing is, you just need to look at your clothes and just see if they've got a bit of give in the fabric. You may be able to move a button across if it's like a tailored pair of pants, or you may be able to stitch more elastic in if needed. Didn't need to do that for Michael though, because he's amazing. But yeah, so make sure you just know your sizes and just check that fabric before you make the purchase. But thank you, Michael, you look great. The next thing you need to know is when you're looking for an outfit, look for things you can wear multiple ways. Unfortunately, thanks to social media, I feel like there's a lot more pressure on us to look fresh, for Instagram or whatever. There just seems to be this stigma around outfit repeating, and I just refuse to buck to the trend. So what I did hear a stat the other day from a YouGov survey in 2017. 24% of Australians have thrown away an item of clothing after wearing it just once. So I've been challenged by a sustainable fashion advocate called Livia Firth, who used to be married to Colin Firth. You may know him. And she's challenging people to get 30 wears out of what they wear. And while I don't have it completely nailed, I think I'm getting there. And I actually think you just have to think outside the square of how you would normally wear that garment. So I've got Anthea here, hopefully she's ready, with some of my favorite styling tricks for turning a one-wear dress into a whole new wardrobe. Just don't close your eyes. This dish dress was actually, so it was a dress. Oh, sorry, you said to wear. Yeah, we're going to just rewind. The entrance was supposed to be her wearing the dress. Let's put the strappies on. Here we go. No, you're ahead of the game. Here we go. Love it. So obviously, at the moment, she's wearing it as the dress. You can wear it like without a t-shirt underneath it, obviously. You can turn it into a pinafore. You could put a collared shirt underneath it to make it more business. But yeah, because the dress was $42, this is what I was going to say, off eBay, which is pretty expensive for me. I was like, I need to get more bang for my buck. So anyway, the other thing I love about this dress is that it's got an elasticated seam up here. So what you could do is you can take these straps down and we're going to do a live demonstration on the styling here. Let me hold that. Shimmy it down to your waistline and then just tuck those straps in, and then you've got yourself a beautiful maxi skirt. And obviously, like, it's a beautiful dress and it's very summery and it's starting to get a bit chilly. So if you're not ready to part ways with your summer dresses, the sneaky way to get around it is turn them into skirts, throw a jumper on, throw a pair of knee-high boots on, and then you're ready for winter. And you wear it all year round. You don't have to part ways when the seasons change. It's beautiful. Look at that. Now I've messed up your beautiful hair with a turtleneck. So yeah, what I would do is just tuck the little turtleneck into the front a little bit just to accentuate the waistline. And then there you go. Beautiful. Amazing. Give it up for Anthea, even though she can't hear you. Thanks, Anthea. Now here's Michael with a really versatile lookbook. We could take this from work to weekend. This whitey blazer was $6.50. Get out of town. Also, the Sportscraft cray shirt, I don't know if you can see the pattern on it if you want to unbutton a little bit, was $6. The Lee chinos were $8. All up, this look comes to $20.50. It would have retailed for around $300. And the pieces he's wearing are so versatile to mix and match in the wardrobe as well. And Michael, can you just show them how to take it from work to weekend? Like, just give us a little demonstration. Let's relax the vibe down. Do you want to hold the jacket for a minute? Here we go. So some simple styling things. Love it. And so he's ready to go out, you know, on the weekend, catch up with some mates. You can throw that jacket up. Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. So nice. Thank you, Michael. Love your work. The other thing you need to do is thrift for future you. So I found this pink faux fur coat for $10 at a pre-loved clothing sale in the middle of summer. So it was 30 degrees. I was sweaty. I was a sweaty mess. And I was like, I don't even want to try this on. It's so hot. But it felt so soft to touch. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. Fashion is pain. But I have to say, thrifting for the season ahead is the best thing you can do, because out of season stock, like the op shops, pre-loved clothing markets, people are just trying to get rid of it. So you can get a really good deal for the season ahead. Another thing you need to know about, and it's a legit medical condition, is op shop regret. So if you're thrifting and you see something, you're like, oh, do I like it? Do I not like it? Put it straight in your basket. Don't leave it there and think that it's going to be there when you come back, because chances are it's already gone the minute you go back, and you'll be heartbroken. I mean, Eminem said you only get one shot, and that's the truth with op shopping. You do only get one shot. There are not multiple items of the thing you like.
Yep.
The other, oh, so sorry. Did you say something? No? Okay. The other thing you need to do is go the extra mile. So it does pay to go for a bit of a road trip, get out of the inner city and go further afield to the regions. There's usually so much op shop gold there, and it's usually a lot cheaper. I guess the prices are lower because the rents are lower and everything like that. And I will show you this dress I found on a road trip 2 hours outside of Brisbane. You would not expect to find a dress like this. So for Anthea, do you want to come out and show everyone your beautiful chic? Is it chic or shake? I never know. But this dress was $7 at the Salvos in Warwick. I don't know if you know where that is. It normally retails for $180, and it's very current puff sleeves, shirred fabric. It's got all the things. So you just can never underestimate those op shops in the small country towns. They're always full of surprises. And I'll show you this other dress too, which I found, you might have seen it on my Insta stories the other day. I went to Pottsville and I did call ahead to find out if they were going to be open the weekend of Easter, because a lot of places close. And this dress is beautiful by Chic as well. And it was $1. And I was like, you're joking me, mate. You're giving it away. So anyway, make sure you get in the car and go for a little drive, and don't judge the book by its cover, because you never know what you're going to find in those little thrift shops. Thank you so much, Anthea. The other place you do need to hit is the church op shops. So they tend to be a lot cheaper as well, because they don't have the rental overheads. And the other thing is they like to bless the community by giving cheap prices and stuff. So one of my local church op shops actually does a 3 for $2 rack. So I'll get Michael to come on out. He's wearing a shirt that costs 65 cents. Beautiful. You wouldn't know it by looking at him, right? Cheaper than a cheeseburger. He's also wearing French Connection shorts that were going for $2 at yesterday's thrift shops, and they actually did have a stain on them. Can't see it now because I used that Audi spray on them. Winning. Thank you, Michael. Looking at $10 million in 65-cent shirt. $2.65 all up, right? Crunching the numbers. Here we go. Watch out for that pop plant. The other thing I love to do is follow op shops on Instagram. So many op shops have actually gotten into the 21st century, and they have Instagram accounts now, and they'll share, like, if they're having a 50% off sale, fill a bag deal, all those sorts of things. So make sure you follow them all, keep your finger on the pulse. And a lot of people say to me, where do I go if I'm just starting, if I'm new to op shopping and I'm not really sure where to start? It can be a bit overwhelming to first timers. So if you're new to the thrifting scene and you're not overly up for a rummage, you could try hitting the op shops that are more curated. So Salvo stores have the street boutiques, which are very high end, beautifully laid out, feels like a normal store. It's not overwhelming. You don't have to rummage. There's no heavy lifting required. Vinnie stores have color blocking, so you can navigate to your color palette. Red Cross and RSPCA op shops are also great because they stock high end clothing. So they've curated it for you. So every piece you look at is actually beautiful. So make sure you go check out all those stores. But the other thing you could do is, if you don't really like the idea of going in op shop at all, no matter how pretty they look, you can shop online now, because a lot of the op shops pivoted, dare I say that word, during COVID. And they created online shopping platforms. So Salvos, Lifeline, Red Cross, Vinnie's, and there's a store called Yesterday's Thrift Shops, which is based in Brisbane. You could still thrift on there and the prices are amazing. So check that out. They do free shipping over $30. Side note, this is not an ad. And there's also apps. There's so many apps now. So you can go shopping on Depop, Gumtree, eBay. But I love thrifting on Facebook Marketplace. It's a bit of a rabbit warren, but you can really source some great secondhand pieces on there. You can even join Facebook groups for different brands that you like Country Road or Mr. Zimmy or Gorman, if you really want to narrow down your search. But during the lockdown last year, I actually scored this polka dot dress. Come on out, Anthea, from Yesterday's Thrift Shop. So you even offer click and collect. Here, we might just tie this up. There's a little waistband here. You get the drift. But yeah, $8 for this dress. I love it. And then this hat, I always wanted a lack of color fedora, and it was $10 on Facebook Marketplace. It did have a few stains, so I had to do a bit of a wool wash on it. And it's gotten grubby again, so I probably do need to give it another wash. But yeah, there's just amazing things you can find online, and they're still not as expensive as real shops. So make sure you check those ones out. Thank you so much, Anthea. The other option for getting a thrift on is for the pre-loved clothing markets. You find a lot of clothing there that's been barely worn. Some people, like fashion bloggers, will go and sell clothing that they've been gifted. They may just want it for a photo, and that is it. And then they sell it really cheap just to get rid of it. So that is a really great place to source some secondhand as well. I actually found this dress at a local Paddington market. The color's really blowing out on this, but it was $25, and that's hugely expensive for me again. I usually don't spend over $10, but it was so beautiful. It's linen, and I got home and I Googled it, because I don't know if anyone else likes Googling how much their things actually cost in real life. But this was a $250 dress originally. So it was 10% of the original value. The thing with markets though, is you really have to be on your game. So get there early, have cash, and don't be afraid to haggle, because I mean, unlike op shops where you might feel bad to barter, these people are used to a little bit of haggling. So if you feel like something's overpriced, just offer them what you think is a reasonable price. And if you're buying in bulk, maybe try and get them to do you a deal. The other thing I'd love to suggest is hosting a Klose swap. So it's a great way to get a new wardrobe without paying a cent. So this beautiful pleat skirt I got in a Klose swap. It's by Forever New. Love that lilac. And yeah, so just try and find some friends who are similar sizes to you. Sorry, there's a garbage truck coming. It may get a bit noisy. And yeah, find people that you like their style, and you'll be most happy with your swapping elements. Okay, DIY fashion is another thing you can try your hand at. If you want to have a craft afternoon, I've got a few ideas for you. I hope you guys can't hear that garbage truck. I'm so sorry. But if you're looking for a pre-love project, thrifting men's shirts is the best way to start. They're so easy to repurpose into on-trend pieces. Just a few nips, stitches, tucks. You can give these a new lease on life as well. And I want to show you one of my latest creations that I did for Peppermint magazine. When it comes to sleeves, the bigger and puffier, the better. So I've got Anthea here to show you. If you'd like to add some 80s drama to your wardrobe, these sleeves, it's honestly, puff sleeves are everywhere at the moment. So all I did for this one, the key to it is thrifting a men's tuxedo shirt, because it's made with a broadcloth fabric. It's quite billowy. It's easy to create a bit of volume. You can really, all I did was I popped some elastic bands on the sleeves to figure out where I wanted to give it a cut. And then I cut 2 centimeters below, and then I hemmed it up, stitched some elastic in, my favorite secret weapon, and there we have it. It was super, super easy. Took me less than half an hour and I failed home ec. So if I can do it, you can probably do it. I also DIY'd sunglass strap. So I don't know if you've seen everyone wearing the sunglass straps. Everyone's getting in on that action. It's very nana, but it's very cool right now. And you can use any necklace you find in the op shops. It doesn't matter. And all you need to do is just buy those like sunglass straps from the chemist. I think they're about $1 because you just need the loops to go over your glass arms. And then you just cut the necklace and tie it onto those loops. And just make sure the necklace is long enough to go over your head. That's the key for that one. These Levi cutoffs were bootleg jeans when I found them. I think they were $2, and I obviously bootlegs weren't doing it for me. So I just hacked them off, put them in the wash, and frayed the edges. It was that simple. So thanks, Anthea. Love your work. You're looking amazing again in my clothing. It's really unfair. My other favorite hack is the military blazer. So I really, really wanted one. I hunted high and low. But I couldn't find one at the op shop. So then I was like, I'm getting impatient. I'm just going to DIY. So what I did was I found a plain black blazer for $2. And then I found a men's blazer, which had these great gold buttons on it. And so I just harvested them off there and then stitched them on neatly on here. I used the darts as a bit of a guide, but don't look too closely because one of the gold buttons actually doesn't match, but I feel like no one's going to know if you move fast enough. So that is a fun DIY, and that's a really simple one as well. The other one I'd love to show you is this Kmart Maxi dress. So, and it's vintage Kmart. The reason I know this is because it actually was made in Australia. That's how you know it's vintage Kmart. So this is on the 3 for $2 rack, and all I did, it was down to my ankles. And so I just hacked it off to an appropriate length and used the excess fabric to make these little bows. So all you do is just fold them into long rectangles, stitch them over, turn them in the right way out. And then you can hand stitch them on the shoulders, or you can lay the fabric across, sew it on with a sewing machine, and then tie it up. I think I should do that next time because these are kind of a bit droopy, but I feel like if you do it with a sewing machine, it might be better. But anyway, yeah, this is a 65-cent dress that I repurposed. But my favorite one at the moment is coming up, and hopefully Anthea's been able to get changed. Matching sets are a major vibe at the moment. And so hang on, we're just going to show a bit of the tummy. So there we go, love it. Yeah, so this dress was $5 at a pre-loved clothing market, and all I needed was elastic and a sewing machine for this one. All you do is find a dress that's long enough so you've got plenty of material to play with. Try the dress on to figure out where you want the crop to finish and the skirt to start so that it's not too revealing or uncomfortable or whatever, and then just create 2 seams here and here, leaving room for the elastic, stitch the elastic together, and Bob's your uncle. And the cool thing about a matching set, which I'm probably sure you're already across, is that you can mix and match. So obviously you could wear the top with a pair of jeans, or you could wear the skirt with like a white t-shirt and a pair of sneakers, or you could wear if you wanted to dress up the skirt, you could wear it with a nice cami singlet and some heels. There are so many options, and this $5 dress has turned into many, many options. So I love that. How are we going for time, Barbara? Are you there?
Yeah, we're doing well.
Great.
How much more have you got to cover?
I was just going to talk a little bit about donating, and then we could do questions and answers if that works for you.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah,
great.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so the last thing I did want to talk about was donating. I did hear a crazy stat the other day that 41% of Australians have thrown clothing straight into the bin. I'm like, oh my gosh, it breaks my little heart. So if your clothes are clean and usable and you can see someone wearing them again, keep your fashion circular and donate them. It's a circle of life. You know, Lion King said it. And a good rule of thumb with donating is just think, would I give this to a friend, or would I be embarrassed to give it to them? Obviously, secondhand socks and undies are a no-go, but just make sure the goods are quality, because I think last year the Salvos alone spent $6 million dealing with unsaleable goods. They had to pay the tip to take them away. The best way to donate those items is to either put them in the opshop bins, and you can look online to find one near you. I think Lifeline has a locator. But yeah, have a look around when you're driving around and try and find your local one. Or you can take them in and donate them over the counter. They really don't want people leaving them outside because they can get damaged by the weather, or people can rummage through them after hours. It's just a bit dodgy. So, but the trick with going into the store and donating them is just don't leave with more than you came. That's one of my biggest weaknesses. So, but yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say. So thank you for listening to my TED Talk. If you have any questions, I'm sure Barbara can facilitate in the chat.
Thank you so much, Hannah. That was... Can you hear me okay? Yeah.
Yes, I can. Yeah.
Lots of amazing tips. I've wanted to take notes about the elastic bands around the sleeves, and we've had a few questions come up, and a lot of comments as well. So a few people have asked what are good op shops in Sydney. So I think people are probably mainly from the Willoughby North Shore area, because that's what was promoted there, but I'm guessing there's people from all around Australia attending today. So any good Sydney and North Shore op shops you can suggest?
Alrighty. I will have to say, hands down, I recommend the NOFS op shops, NOFFS. They're in Sydney, but unfortunately they are all over the bridge. But there's 9 stores, and most of the items are under $5. This Zimmerman dress I saw on their Insta stories. I've never owned a Zimmerman piece in my life. It's always been a long life dream. It's been on my opshop wish list, and they sold it to me for $10 and posted it up to me, and it's just beautiful. Look at those sleeves. It's silk. It's just gorgeous. So make sure you go visit them. It's worth going over the bridge for. There is a Salvos near you. I don't know how to say the suburb. It might be Dural or Dural. Yeah. Okay, cool. However you want to say it. Sounds fancy if you say Dural. That one is a winner. There is Opshop Gold there. The prices are really reasonable. It's not far, I don't think, from your shire. The Wayside Chapel Opshop in North Bondi and Potts Point, also amazing. The Restore in Seven Hills, I'm not sure how far that is from you. Is that far?
It's worth the trip.
Yeah.
Have lunch at the same time.
Great. Love it. You've just got to eat before you thrift. You can't thrift on an empty stomach. Otherwise, you just can't focus. You need to be mentally sharp. Glebe markets are on every Saturday. They are so good. Kirribilli markets on the 3rd Saturday of every month. They do a pre-loved clothing market, and I've found so many good things over there over the years. Every time I come to Sydney, I try and time it so that I go on the right weekend. So the 3rd Saturday of the month. And then the Red Cross shops are really beautiful. So Newtown, Paddington, or Broadway, they're really good for newbies. So if you don't really like rummaging, you're not really familiar with op shopping yet, that's a good entry level point. I've heard Anglicare at DY, that's North Shore, is also quite good. Yeah, there's also one in Parramatta if you're over that way. And then the Salvation Army in Surrey Hills is always a winner. So those are my recommendations.
Awesome, thank you. Hopefully that answers wherever people wear. Someone's from the US, so she's saying where can she look to find a good shop there. I'm not sure if you've got a link.
Where in the US? Where in the US?
Sure. Jenny.
LA, New
York,
Seattle. Gosh, I find like I haven't actually thrifted in Seattle, so I'm really sorry I don't know exact specifics, but I feel like in America there are a lot of consignment stores over there. People sell their wardrobes in like fancier shops. I don't know if that's so you can find really good stuff, but it can be a little bit more expensive. That's my vibe, especially in New York. There's a lot of consignment stores like Beacon's Closet and stuff. But yeah, sorry, I can't really help you. I will try and find someone who Instagrams over there.
Yeah, I'm glad people are following from the US. That's
amazing. I don't even know what time it is over there.
No. Yeah, so someone's asking about kids and teen clothing. So she's asking, or he's asking, do you have any ideas around what could be on a wish list for kids and teens?
Yeah, so I'm forever thrifting for the future. So I've got a 7-year-old and a 3-year-old. So I will buy stuff that's like way too big for them because I know eventually they'll grow into it. And it's just, you just have to snap up the things when you find them. So good quality leather shoes, even if they're ginormous right now, they will eventually grow into them. So always look for good quality, well-made pieces, even for the future. So always thrifting for the future kids. So I always look for shoes because kids' feet grow really quickly. So often they will not be worn very much. And kids' shoes are actually really expensive if you buy them in real life at a real shop. So I love the shoes, and they're always so cute as well. But also good jackets, especially in Queensland, jackets don't get worn very much, like kids' jackets, because it doesn't get that cold. So yeah, I bought this pristine jacket for my daughter the other day, and I think it looks brand new. It was like $5. So yeah, look for the pieces that haven't had much wear and thrift for future children.
Yeah, great tip. Thank you. Julia's asking, so she says, Hannah, can you expand on your thoughts on buying fast fashion secondhand? She finds a lot of stuff from Kmart, Target, and the Iconic at my local op shops. If the stuff is natural fibers, I usually buy them. What is your view?
Yeah,
so I guess it's like the ethical dilemma.
It is a dilemma, and I feel like a lot of people always feel conflicted when they buy fast fashion, but I think at the end of the day, if you're diverting it from landfill, it's better. You don't want that garment to go to waste. If the damage is already done, if you can rescue it and give it another life, then fabulous. Like 100% applaud that. If you can repair something, like a lot of fast fashion does fall apart quite quickly. So I've actually stitched up skirts where the seams are coming apart, just so that I can get more wear out of it, so it's not just completely thrown in the bin and being a complete waste of time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Natural fibers are awesome too. Yeah.
That's right, yes. Synthetic fibers are my worst nightmare.
They're so sweaty.
Yeah, and then you think about all the microfibers that you're releasing in your wash. And,
yes.
They
do say, when you wash polyester fabrics, if you fill your machine, make sure it's completely full. There's less friction and less particles are released that way. Not that I'm an expert, but that's just what I've heard.
Exactly. There's not that many filters available yet.
Yeah, there's guppy bags.
You can get those, yeah. There's a question from Catherine that's more for me. So it's asking if council has any plans to support things like community swaps in council facilities. And she says she stopped donating to the big op shops after she found out the amount of perfectly usable items were going to landfill. I believe that it would be a fantastic idea to support the circular economy. So we are definitely trying to do more and more as much as we can. We've just organized a Klose swap a couple of weeks ago, but that was internal just for our staff, and that was
cute.
really fun and and I got like some amazing Dangerfield dresses and Princess Highway, and I was very excited. But we are looking at we have done Klose swaps in the past, so we're looking at starting them again now that COVID is, fingers crossed, giving us a little bit of a break. So we've only just started doing our face-to-face events and workshops again, and hopefully we can start doing a lot more. So if you don't already, if you live in the Willoughby Council area and you don't already receive our newsletter, I'll send a link in my follow-up email so that you can sign up to the newsletter so you can see any upcoming events. So we will have a Klose swap, but that will be probably before the end of the year or something like that. It won't be straight away. I know there is a toy and kids item swap coming up. I believe it's in Narrenburn or Artarmon, and that is next weekend. So I can also include the link to that. It's not organized by council. I know council is supporting it. I won't be attending because I can't make it on that day, but there's something happening this weekend, which is all around children and bring your toys and get some like secondhand items. So yeah, we always welcome ideas. So if you have any suggestions, please pop them in that feedback survey, because that's how we gather our ideas for future events. So please add anything that you'd like to see more of, and we'd love to be able to implement more. We had a few comments on your t-shirts, and people were asking where to get it from. So I posted the link. You make
thank you.
those, right?
Yes. Yeah. So I always thrift the blanks, usually from the men's section or the kids section, because they do like the great cropped fits. So yeah, usually like unisex kind of fit. And yeah, I just get, sorry, I'm getting choked up again. Usually get them printed locally in Brisbane, and then I'll send them off to wherever you are. The print bar uses sustainable inks. So basically you can know that the shirt isn't going to cost the earth in more ways than one.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. There's a few people with a few more comments, but Joanna is saying she uses Willoughby Council's free monthly home pickup by Recycle Smart. So I'm very glad to have someone else promote it so that I don't have to do that. So yeah, we've partnered with Recycle Smart, which is quite of a new program, and you can get lots of different things picked up from your doorstep. So like e-waste, soft plastics, but clothing is a massive part of it. So you can include anything that's still wearable in good condition, and those will be donated to the Red Cross because they have a partnership with the Red Cross. So you might find them in your local Red Cross stores, or they might go a little bit further. And then if you put anything that's non-wearable, so if it's got too many holes or stains or it's really damaged, as long as you put it in a separate bag and you make it quite clear that it like write on it or put a post-it note, those get recycled rather than donated. So
that's awesome.
We
need that here.
Yeah, it's growing around the Sydney area, so hopefully it moves all the way around Australia. So I'm glad. Thanks, Joanna, for using the program. We've got people asking what was the name of the Aldi stain remover product.
Oh, Dysan, D-Y-S-A-N.
That's
purple bottle. Just look for the purple bottle. You won't go wrong.
Purple spray bottle in Aldi. That's like
best $1.80.
Only reason you go to Aldi just for that.
Yeah, I know. I do. I literally do.
Someone's saying that Vinnie's in New South Wales is doing the drop at the moment. So Northern Beaches is one of the 4 stores participating. Lots of new and almost new influencer and designer releases going out every Saturday.
Oh, wow. I need to come down.
Yeah.
Getting on a plane. I'm out of
here. Sarah was saying she loves the alteration ideas, and she's asking if she's not confident to do things herself, would paying to outsource mending alterations be worthwhile?
I definitely think so. You just need to find someone who's reasonable, because there's obviously fancier alteration places, but there's people like, you could find one of your mum's friends and just flip her a 20 or something like that. She'd probably love to do a little crafty exercise. She may be bored and would like a project of some kind. So just ask around. I know I've got a good connection because I asked around all my friends. I'm like, do you know anyone? Like, who do you use? And I found someone who does reasonable alterations. Most of the time I do try and do them myself and just hope for the best.
And then just hope no one looks too closely at your
chin. I know, literally.
No one does.
I just keep moving so no one can see how bad it is.
There were some comments about when you mentioned that clothing was found in bins, that people actually throw their clothes away. And I can say that's true because, one of our latest bin audits that we do with all of our resident bins, it was definitely one of the most found items that doesn't belong in a bin. Like, both people put it in the recycling bins and in their red bins. So it's very sad. Makes all of us sad. Usually can be donated and just not bought in the first place.
The other thing I was going to say, if your clothes are beyond repair, I often turn them into rags to clean with. So to do those things you don't want to get your beautiful sponges dirty with, like cleaning the ceiling fans or the skirting boards, if you have that time up your sleeve. And the other thing you can do with your clothes, if they're natural fibers, if they're cotton or linen, anything that will break down, you can actually put them in your compost if you have a compost as well, or you can go to the community garden compost and chuck them in there so that they'll actually break down naturally. It's another alternative. Also ThredUp. Sorry, one more thing. ThredUp is amazing. So kind of like your Resmart, whatever it's called. You can package up all your clothes in any condition. into a box and send them off to ThredUp. I think it's $25 for like a big box, and then they will go through them, resell them, break them down into fibers, like to stuff couches with. So, and the other thing I would say is Zara and H&M also have collection bins in all of their stores. So you can put any textile waste in there and they will break it down and make new collections with it. And they also like use it to make insulation for houses, and they use it for cars. I'm not really sure how they use it for cars, but anyway, I was just reading randomly. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, no, some great tips. Thank you so much.
Okay.
We're out of time, so
sorry.
we might leave it there. I think we've answered all the questions, and then we'll have a few more lovely comments.
Thank you, guys.
As well. So thank you, everyone.
For spending the time. I'll get Michael and Anthea out for one last hurrah. If they're still there. Do you want to come and say goodbye? I know
they're
that
still
they can't
dressed.
hear you. I know. Here we go. Look at them. Looking beautiful. And someone screenshot. Can someone screenshot this?
Let me screenshot it. Hold on a second.
Freeze.
No, hold on. It's not working. Here you go. Smile. Okay, lovely. Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for attending.
Thank you.
Hannah. Thanks to your beautiful models.
I'm so sorry for the croaky throat, everyone. It was so hideous.
Hope your voice gets better soon.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good day, everyone. See you later.
See ya. You like smile and wave, have no idea what's going on.